Welcome to today's 3-minute halacha. On Tisha B'Av, there are 5 prohibitions. Achila and shtiyah, eating and drinking, milata sandal, wearing leather shoes, tashmisha mitah, relations between husband and wife, rechitza u'sicha, bathing and anointing oneself, and Talmud Torah and learning of Torah. These prohibitions remain in force throughout the day of Tisha B'Av. However, once Chatzot, midday, begins, at that point, certain things do change about the observance and the customs of Tisha B'Av. And so, for example, throughout Tisha B'Av, we were sitting on low stools. Interestingly, the height of those stools were subject to debate, with the Kaf HaChaim saying that we should be no more than with tefach, 3 to 4 inches off the ground. The Chazon Ish saying 3 tefachim. Reb Shlomo Zalman saying just lower than usual. And yet once Chatzot comes, we're allowed to sit on regular height chairs. In addition, when it comes to the question of doing business matters remove our thoughts from the morning of Tisha B'Av and therefore are prohibited. However, once Chatzot arrives, we are then permitted to enter into those things that are necessary. The Aruch HaShulchan, in fact, added that nowadays, because people's livelihood are so precarious, that it would even be permitted earlier in the day if necessary. In addition to that, the parochet, the curtain on the front of the Aron Kodesh, is returned to its place, and talis and tefillin are worn. Talis is normally not worn in the morning, and the reason being because there is a pasuk in Eicha, Bitzayim Rato, as if God has torn his own royal garments, and therefore we don't wear a special garment for tefillah. And tefillin aren't worn because of the idea that tefillin are pe'er. They're an ornament. They're a kind of crown that we would wear. And again, on a day of mourning, it would be inappropriate. So we put both talis and tefillin on at mincha after chatzot. There is another question about whether or not we need to say Shema, once again, with talis and tefillin on. In that case, the Mishnah Berurah says it's not the time for saying Shema. And so it may be a prohibition of the idea of Talmud Torah, of learning Torah, whereas the Ber Heitev said, no, it's just part of davening and it should be permitted. The Shir Shel Yom, which was also omitted at the end of the davening in Shachrit because of that sense of joyousness, is also included before the beginning of Mincha, despite the fact that the Shir Shel Yom recalls the service in the Beit HaMikdash, when the Kohanim would recite this in the morning, and Mincha time is not the time. Nevertheless, we have reinstituted the Shir Shel Yom for after Chatzot. Besides these items, all of the rest of the prohibitions of Tisha B'Av remain in force until the end of the day.